Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the free-to-play startup guide. Today we are starting out in the Dragon Island, covering the Pegacorn feature. I'm sure you've at least started this already. If you've reached the level at which it unlocks, I think it unlocks at level 50. I might be incorrect and it might be 40, but something in that range. So, every 2 hours you get one of these. I'm not sure what they're actually called. They just changed the logo for them, probably the name as well. Anyhow, every time you have one, you can click the explore button. It's called stamina. Okay, so like in every other version of the game where you get this kind of thing. You click explore and you have a chance to either get some loot, which will be shown in your carriage, or you will have an event occurring or incident occurring. So the incidents can be different things. You can either go up against a beast that will give you some loot if you slay it or kill it. Then you can go up against other players, which will speed up the process a bit. In the beginning, you have no speed buff, so the Pegacon Trial is going to take 14 days, and each time you gain a speed up effect from the explore, you will increase the speed, or actually decrease the time remaining with 8 hours. So, for instance, if I got a speed one as the next one, it will go to 1 day and 5 hours remaining on the duration. So this icon right here means that it's not fully repaired or fully healed. It doesn't matter too much as long as it's above 90%. What you can see in here is that as long as if the endurance is not more than 90% each time, endurance reduces by 10. Final other rewards reduced by 5%. So if, for instance, the endurance goes to 80, then you will get 5% less rewards. And then when it goes to, I would recommend always just having it on 90 or 100, so you don't have to worry about these things. But in here you can read what it does, and of course the less endurance it has, the worse the effects. So for instance, when the endurance goes really low, then the speed decreases, and this time right here is going to get higher and higher. So now we got a stamina, so let's see what it does. This time we just got, no incident was found, so we just got some loot. So the incidents, that's where you have to fight something, or there's a that you get plundered, and yeah, I think you lose 50 gems or something. So that's how that works, and you just, the first time you try it, you only get the option to choose a Scourge Spirit, and then once you increase its level by completing these missions, then you can choose amongst the other races and kind of just go with whatever fits your team. So the next thing we're going to cover would be the events this week. So this week we have the summer trip, which is just a dice game. You get 4 dice every day, unless you buy some. You can buy some from the treasure chest event. Personally, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you really need the resources, like for instance these soul shards or the gold or maybe these soul stones, then by all means waste 3,000 crystals on that. Wouldn't recommend it. In general, when these treasure chests of Tyke event comes up, the first 3 boxes here, so the Source of Life box, the Skin Shard and Runic Coin chest, as well as the Heroism Scroll and Magic Crystal boxes are worth it. I would always go with those. As you see, I'm at 530 crystals now. This week I bought the Hestia copy as well because of her PvE damage, but I should still be able to get the 1000 crystals and get this box as well. The box over here, this is arguably the most important currency in the game. as you are able to level up, or at least power up, specific types of class. So for instance, the Hestia is a mage, and I'm able to increase her damage just by putting in resources in her academy tree. So the next thing we're going to cover will be the Void Invasion, and then lastly the Rune and Grimoire. I'll really quickly go back into the event. So this week's event is, of course, the treasure chests and the board game. And the last event is the Void Invasion event. So to me, this is one of the most interesting events because it is quite interactive. You won't get a lot of upgrade on your heroes this week unless you just need to level them up. But you won't get any hero copies or anything like that. So if you're into that sort of thing, then I guess you won't like the event very much. However, I'm very heavily invested in PvE, and this is one of the events in the game, or one of the features in the game, where you really get to show off your PvE team. So I've done three tries already just to kind of establish a baseline, and I'm able to, as you can see, do 2% on each fight on average. I want to take down this guy this week just to get the coin, to get the soul shards, and last but not least the runic coin. I'll show you why in a minute. Also, they have a leaderboard. Right now I'm performing very badly because I've only done the three tries. I have an average score of 52 for each try, and as you see, the people in top have very good scores, and of course they're on earlier servers than I am, so they do have an advantage, but I have no chance of getting into the top 50, so I am just aiming for a top 500 this week. So that will give me a Source of Life, and it'll give me 20 of these Enchanted Books. Now, the Enchanted Books are also very important. What they do is that they are able to upgrade your gear. So, for instance, right now I have Hestia equipped with my 3-star orange gear. And then, if you go into the Forge and you click Enhance, and you want to create some 4-star gear. No, actually, wait. Sorry. If the Hestia was equipped with 4-star orange gear, I could have put in the gear in here, and then, of course, that will be upgraded to 5-star gear, and that costs me 40 million gold and 30 of the Enchanted Books. This is, of course, these upgrades are doable without these Enchanted Books, and it is debatable whether you should spend the Enchanted Books on this or not. Depends on how many Enchanted Books you have and how much coin you have, of course. If you're loaded on gold, then I would just go in here and then upgrade it, I guess, manually. But it does become very expensive as you level them up further. So in the end, you actually save a decent amount of gold by sacrificing the 30 books. However, one piece of armor you can get normally is this class-specific armor. So for instance, for Hestia, I would go with the mage one, click select, and then these pieces are upgraded to mage-specific pieces, which gives mage-specific stats, and they have, well, quite a bit better stats. For instance, if you're into PvP, then the mage set has 20 speed, which will of course give you a competitive edge versus any other mage without that piece of armor equipped. Gives some hit, some crit, some skill damage. Of course, these ones do as well. So here we have crit damage, we have damage immune, dodge, and skill damage. So actually they don't. So this one has crit instead of, I don't know, damage immune, or let's go with this. So crit instead of crit damage, arguably better. This one has hit instead of damage immune. You can, again, debatable. 20 speed versus 2 dodge. And lastly, 10 skill damage versus 6 skill damage. And of course, these different attack, and HP, they add up to be more than this set can provide. So always go for the class sets. These cost you 80 Enchanted Books, so that's why the Enchanted Books are really important to get every time there's a Void Invasion event around. So, as I told you before, I have been able to do 52 points of damage on average, and I have no problem staying alive whatsoever. I have pretty much full health on all my heroes, so I just reached level 70. I would suggest in this event, in the Void Invasion event, if you're able to reach level 70 during the week, so you unlock the runes and grimoires, just wait. Don't spend these yet. Just wait until you unlock the rune and until you make the progress during the week. So for instance, I just unlocked the rune. Now I unlocked the grimoires, so I chose this one because of the healing. So when that is fully charged, he will heal 4 of my allies by 20% of their max HP and increase their armor and attack. So I am choosing this one for survivability. There are others to go for. For instance, if you're heavily invested into poison damage, this one is good because it poisons 4 random enemies, and then it increases the attack of 4 random allies, so they deal 80% extra damage towards poisoned enemies. So that's very good if you go with, for instance, Thanatos or whichever poison hero, really. Anyhow, I went for the healing one. I want to stay alive. That's usually the main problem in PvE. You deal damage, but you just end up dying rather quickly. So for the runes, I went with the health one. When you have to decide upon a rune, you go to the shop and you pick whatever. I would not recommend going for the speed ones in the beginning at all. I would go for either attack or I would go for HP. So now I've gotten the HP one, which provides me with 80,000 extra health for each hero, and I can upgrade that with the rest of my runic coins and my gold, and then they would provide all of my heroes with 162,000 health. However, because I don't have any problem staying alive in the Void Invasion, I'm going to go with something else. I'm going to go with an attack rune, so I don't want skill damage, I don't want armor, I don't want armor break, I don't want crit damage, because Hestia's damage is passive, so it can't crit. So I will go with real damage instead, because that negates armor. So I'm not sure if it's armor, it might be damage immune it negates. Anyhow, it negates some defensive stat, so I'm gonna go with this one. Normally I would recommend, just before you fuck up too much, I'd recommend always deciding on one and then upgrading it all the way. So never do 2 at a time, unless, and this is the very exception, I am going to buy this one to be able to kill this one during the first week. That will give me 9 million gold, and then I can always, once I've done that, I can go up here. If you click the bag and click disassemble, you can disassemble the rune and you will get back the runic coins you've spent. You won't get back the gold, but since the gold investment isn't too high, I will actually do this just to do better in the Void Invasion event this week, maybe do better on guild bosses, and then I will disassemble the attack rune and then just invest only in the health rune. So I will still go back to only investing in one, which I will highly recommend. But now we're going to do this instead. So right now it gives all of our heroes 347 extra attack. That should end up at around maybe 3,000 to 5,000 after we've upgraded this as much as possible. Okay, not even 3,000, 1,848. So not overly impressive, but better than nothing. So let's see. We have the when you have to go and deal damage against the Void Invasion bosses, then make sure that you find out which class these are. So for right now we have a Scourge hero, an Orc with an Underbite, and we have like a small goblin sort of thing with a metal plate jaw, like kind of a Deathwing situation. So we have this one, that is a warrior, and we have the Deathwing Orc, which is also a warrior. So we are going to go with a warrior artifact. So Hestia, I've equipped her with the best gear and equipped her with a warrior artifact. So that is as good as it gets for her. My secondary damage dealer is Bellona. Hestia is going to perform much better, but she's the next best thing, and for that reason I'm going to equip her with the next best gear. My Exorcist, he does pretty much, he does some healing, other than that he doesn't do much, but I'm going to equip him with the third best gear, just because, well, nah, I don't know, actually I'll go with Sorceress. Sorceress gets the third best gear. There we go, and then I went with Banshee, and then I went with this guy, Feller, because on his active he reduces the enemy's armor by 15% for 2 rounds, so that just provides a bit more damage. It's not a lot, but my alternative was Purgatory Golem, who really doesn't do much, so yeah, the little damage or armor reduction is better than no armor reduction. So once you've upgraded the rune in here, then you go to the Grimoires, you click on the info, and right now you can just auto-equip because you don't have a lot of runes to go for. If you end up having 10 different runes over here, then you of course can just manually click which ones you want to add. And then you go to the Void Invasion event, make sure that we have the right team. We've got the Hestia, the Bellona, the Sorceress, the Exorcist, Banshee, and then we have to switch the Purgatory Golem for this guy. And then remember to add the Grimoire. You click Grimoire and then you choose the one you want. So for instance, if you've gone with the poison one I talked about before, you just click here and then you can choose it from here. So I'm going with this one, and now you see it's up here. And what we're going for is to do at least 5.2 million damage. That's been the average so far. So 5.2. Since I just bought the attack rune, I'm hoping that we see something more in the line of 6 to 7 million damage. As you see, staying alive is absolutely no problem. Exorcist self-heals for more than they're able to do damage. So definitely staying alive for all rounds. As you see, Hestia has her fire marks going right here, and that's those 55,000 numbers. That's the Hestia passive going off. So I'll skip it and then hope that we get more than 6 million damage. More than 7 million damage. Okay, so that was quite the upgrade with the attack rune. So we see that Hestia did almost 6 million damage. Bellona 864,000. Of course, Exorcist healed quite a bit. Sorceress healed quite a bit, and the Grimoire, of course, healed as well. So that was actually better than I hoped for. So now we did 3% damage. So let's try and smash. If you smash, then you just kind of auto-use, for instance, let's say 10. So I will use 10 of these. That will, hopefully bring me to 61% remaining. So then you smash, you have to check the lineup is the same. It should be the same as the one you just used always, but double check just in case. And then the Grimoire, we say battle, and we choose that we should do it 10 times. So that brings us to, well, 62, close enough. And then of course we got all the rewards just before. Did we get anything useful at all? Did we get any... nah, not a lot. However, I will just upgrade this, because that adds a bit more damage and a bit more healing. Healing I don't really need, but the damage is always nice. So let's see. Here we see that this is almost dead, and this one still has a lot of health remaining. So that's going to be a bit of a problem, because once this is dead, I definitely won't be able to do 7 million damage each time, because, of course, for instance, now when they start, I'll just slow it down. So now when we have the fire marks on both these targets, and they hit both targets, then on their active skills, then both of them gain the passive damage, or take the passive damage. So still a bit more than 7 million damage. Let's smash 10 more times. See what happens. Then we're at 30%. I'm guessing that this one is going to be dead now. So we only have the little guy left. No, close. Okay, let's just skip this. Not even 7 million. Varies a bit, apparently. Still not dead. Okay, I just want to show you once he's dead. Okay, here we got 7.3 million. Now he is most likely gone. Yeah. Okay, so now we have this little fella, but of course all the normal attacks are going to hit this one. So we won't see 7 million numbers most likely, but we should still be able to do at least 5. Of course, one thing to note, that all the passive damage here are yellow numbers, so 69,000. That's because Hestia has a race advantage over this one. So you see that Hestia deals more damage against Demon. So that's why the numbers are higher, and actually that may take us close to the 7 million damage. Let's have a look. 7.6. Nice. Okay, so maybe just 7 more, and then we have completed the first boss. Yeah. So then we got the rewards in our mailbox. Very useful. And hopefully we are ranked decent. Yeah, so ranked 327 right now. Of course, there's still a few days left of this event, so my ranking is going to drop as other people get around to it. But I should stay in the top 500 and then get my Enchanted Books, which is the only goal I have. If you just look in here every actually you don't need to do it every day, but if you just do it before the event ends, usually that's on my time it's Thursday very late, so like or even Friday at 2 AM. The event ends, and so if I go in just before I go to bed on Thursday, then I can see where my ranking is, and if I'm outside the top 500, so let's say I've dropped to 550, I just go in and I just do some fights against the next one until I go decently into the top 500. So maybe you aim for 450, then you can still drop 50 places and still stay in the top 500. But that's how I would recommend doing the Void Invasion. Of course, once you proceed to this boss is not very hard hitting either. Let's have a look. Let's just see for the fun of it if I'm able to stay alive for all rounds. I realized that I did nothing about the artifact, but I'm not gonna kill the boss anyway. Yeah, okay. So this boss is gonna kill me quite easily. Of course, the Exorcist heals a bit, but see, even that isn't very much because of the Grimoire. Okay, so anyway, yeah, 1.6 million damage, so not very impressive. So what I usually do is, let's see how much. Okay, that actually bumped us up quite a bit. So what I usually do is I just make sure I kill the boss I'm aiming to kill that week. On one of my older accounts, I just cleared the whole thing, so I killed this boss, and I'm just spending my remaining crystals on the last boss, where I just get some random currency. But for this account, I was just aiming to do stage 1. I'm done with that. So then I'll save these ones, because then they go to the next Void Invasion event. So just don't do anything else unless you're struggling to stay in the top 500. Just leave it for the next Void Invasion event, and then you will of course get your rewards, and you will be able to progress even further next week, because your heroes of course have gotten better and you have more tries. So that's a good tip. I'll just show you for the guild boss. I joined another guild because the one I was in was getting very inactive. So the guild leader was offline all the time, and some of the other high damage dealing guys were offline all the time. So it was just basically me doing everything, and that's not very good for progress. So I joined this one instead. Right now I'm second ranked in damage, and we have 12 people participating. Actually, that's not very good when I think we are like 16 people, 18 people. Okay, so we should try to get everyone to join in. Anyhow, the last try I did, think I did around 6 million damage. I've gotten the rune already, so I was able to stay alive for more rounds than most people. As you see, these two guys are warriors. This one, I'm pretty sure she's a priest. Just have a look. Yeah, so 6 million damage I did. So this guy definitely looks like a warrior. If you want, go double check. That's this guy, and she's a warrior. And then the other one was Diana. No, was it? I'm pretty sure it was Diana. Maybe the 6-star version. Yeah. So she's a priest, as you see. So what I will do against that is to equip Hestia once again, best gear, anti-warrior artifact. And here I want Exorcist to heal a bit more, because they actually do deal some damage. Equip Sorceress, of course, the feather for the armor reduction, and then I've just purchased the attack rune. See if we can upgrade even more. That would be nice. Nah, no luck. So go to the guild raid, go to this one. Last time I did 6 million damage. Let's see if we are able to top 6 million damage. Change this one for this one. Actually, why do I? Oh, now Hestia isn't even in there. Okay, that could have been grim. Okay, so we've got the right setup. Yep, we got the Grimoire. And actually, I'm going to. Yeah, that probably won't make a difference, but let's see. We should. I should stay alive for all 15 rounds, as I did before, because I'm still using the same Grimoire. Nothing's changed from that part, but I should do more damage. Last time I did 6 million damage, so hopefully we will go to, I don't know, maybe 7.5, 8 million damage this time. Let's see if this one stays alive for all rounds. So far it doesn't look too good. Of course you can be unlucky here. For these guys have a 30% chance to stun or something, and if they stun your Hestia, then for those 2 rounds she won't be able to do her passive damage. So that can kind of change how much damage you do. Even though you get an upgrade, if you're unlucky that Hestia gets stunned a few times or something, then you just have bad luck, and that's how RNG goes. I'm sure you know it from other games, but sometimes it treats you well, and sometimes RNG just isn't with you at all. So seems like we're going through all 15 rounds, and Hestia, as far as I noticed, hasn't been stunned yet. So we should see some 7-8 million number. 8 million, yeah. And of course, as we kind of guessed, Hestia did the majority of the damage. I have 1 try left. I have 16 hours until it resets. I might as well just do it because I'm not going to get any huge upgrade within the next 16 hours. So I'll just do it just to not forget. Yeah, around 8 million again, and now I'm in a comfortable first place. The guy rank 2, I'm pretty sure that he doesn't do 6 million at a time. Yeah, he does around 2 million damage. He doesn't have the Grimoire then. Maybe he doesn't know. He's even level 74, so he's actually spent some money to go to level 74 that quick. Otherwise he would be around 70 as me. I started on the first day the server came out, and I've collected the experience pretty much every 8 to 10 hours. So no way that he's level 74 without having paid some money. Actually, this guy as well, even he might have paid some money. We'll see in like a few weeks. You can tell whether people have spent money or not, because then if people are higher level than you, then they've actually spent money. So that's the way to check that. So anyway, I guess that was it for today, and I will see you in the next one.